All right, guys, module 3. This is one of my favorite parts of this whole series. From all the other courses, this is my favorite part. I love teaching this part. So really take some good notes here and take the diagram. The diagram is very, very important. And when you understand this, you become an amazing problem solver. You can take on challenges. When other people run away, you step forward. The fireman, he's stepping into the fire. She's stepping into the fire while other people are running away from it. Those are the challenges you want in life. So let's move. All right, here we go. So on this level, the first thing is you have to understand what the circumplex is. And I'm going to take you through it one by one. All right, so we first have a challenge. So now we are in our discomfort zone. We have stepped to the edge of our comfort zone and we are looking out into the abyss, which is our discomfort zone. And now this is where life comes at you. These are where the challenges come at you. This is where situations that you don't want to take on come at you, okay? You're not a good speller, but you have to write an essay on an exam. This is where the challenge comes and it pushes against your principle. It's going to test you. That's what challenges are there for. Challenges are embedded with responsibility. And when that challenge comes, it's going to call out your principle. And it's going to tell you, hey, I'm right here, step up. It's going to call you outside. So now what happens? It's going to call out your principle. It's going to say, it's me against you. Your knowledge now and your knowledge bank, as we talked about in understanding decision making, is very important because now you have to apply information. Let's say we put courage here. You have to build some courage and it's going to lead to the next example. So now you have your challenge against your knowledge and wisdom and how to apply. So wisdom is going to be the application of the knowledge, but it's you now, your personality right up here, which is your knowledge, and the challenge are now facing off in your discomfort zone. Here we go. Okay, you have options, right? You have options. You can be passive or you can be aggressive, meaning that you can approach the situation and the challenge or you can avoid it and step back, okay? So we have the option to either approach or avoid. Now, what sits in between here, this is where wisdom comes into place. Knowledge, my knowledge being applied through wisdom. Am I going to be aggressive and approach, or am I going to be passive and avoid? Some people are always passive, they're always agreeable, and they have a natural tendency just for people to like them, and they're afraid to go towards conflict. This person will constantly be on this side of the scale. And some people are overly aggressive, and every situation they want to just approach and they want to take it on. And that is not wisdom either. So wisdom is understanding there's a dynamic system that's working on you, and sometimes with the same principle, based on a different situation, based on the situation, may be applied in different ways. Here's the first situation, the first challenge. Someone is attacking a loved one. Let's say someone is attacking your mother. Here's the challenge, okay? Someone comes up to your mother and the time window is now there. They started and out of nowhere, you as a person have to now defend your mother. What are you going to do? Are you going to approach and defend her? Or are you going to avoid and be passive and not do that? What are you going to do? What does the situation call on? What does wisdom say for you to do? Obviously, in terms of this situation, you would want to approach. You want to go towards aggression. You have to go towards conflict. And from here, you take on the challenge. You step forward. Now imagine you don't do that. You are avoidant and you step back. You don't do anything with the knowledge of what you have. And another person comes in and starts defending your mother and takes on the challenge. How are you going to feel afterwards? That's not going to be very pleasant. So you never want anyone to take on your challenges. You never want anyone to handle your responsibility. Unless the person is wiser and has more knowledge than you and you trust them and you seek them as a mentor, then that's fine. But what I'm saying is you don't want people to take on your challenges. Those are gifts to you. You want that responsibility so you can grow through that challenge. Now, but let's say you did the right thing. You became aggressive. You went towards the person, you defended your mother, and you took on that challenge. Now, what does that say about you? Now you get a value applied to your character. If you approach the situation and you took on the challenge and you succeeded and you defended your mother, you're going to be looked at as brave. You get a characteristic that's tagged to your character. Now, this is how you're building a belief structure. What happens when you don't do that? You don't approach, you actually avoid. Your wisdom wasn't there, and now your mother gets really hurt. You're going to be looked at as someone who is cowardly. That's where you don't want to end up, because now your mind sees that, and your reputation with yourself isn't very kind. You're not going to like yourself very much. And this is how you start building also a perspective about your own character, your relationship with yourself. So you got to be very careful with these kinds of things. But I'm just demonstrating this to you so you see how we applied that anger. Like here, you needed to build that courage and you needed to build that anger so you can approach. So now let's look at anger and courage applied in a different way with another situation. Challenge number 2, okay? Someone who you love, let's say your father, slaps you. But your father's a great guy and you've got a great relationship with him, and out of nowhere, he's having a really bad day and he does that. So now, here's the situation. The challenge is, should you be aggressive and hit him back? Or should you be passive and hold that anger, pull back that anger? Here, you needed to muster anger for your mom. Here, you need to pull back on anger for who? Your dad. Because now, you literally, let's say he does that, and you just smile in his face and say, Dad, I love you. This is the concept of turning the other cheek. When it's applied properly through wisdom. So now you step back from your father and you tell them that you love him, what's going to happen? You're looked at as someone who is forbearing. Versus if you jump on your father and you're like, man, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with you. I can't believe you do something like that to me. You're looked at as intolerant. You may be justified, but if you looked at your history with your father, you may not be justified in terms of your reaction, because if it's just the first time he's done that and that was the scenario that we're giving, we're not looking at multiple factors within a scenario. We're just giving one particular scenario. So on that level, you may be looked at as intolerant. This applies another characteristic to your character. So now, let's say now you've gotten to a point and you're a leader. You can do this thing with your eyes closed in so many ways. You know when to approach, you know when to avoid. I want you to think of a doctor who's performing like heart surgery. I've actually seen that live. As soon as the doctor was sewing the person, they had about 350 strings laid out one by one by one on the person's chest. When he started maneuvering his fingers and actually sewing the patient, it was incredible. It was like an orchestra. But the precision in his decisions was so amazing. He can't make a mistake at that level. When you have higher challenges that have higher levels of responsibility, this is where you have to become what? Precise. It's precision decision making. So what is precision decision making? When you can lead others and climb into the realm of leadership, you have to make precision decisions. What does this mean? The decision that you will have to make will have no second chances. Meaning, I want you to think of a basketball player, 7th game, 3 seconds left. You're down 2 points. And you're going to give them, the plan is to give one person that one shot, that's a 3-pointer, to win the whole series, to win the NBA championship. One shot has no second chances. You can't get it back, okay? Huge amounts of responsibility weighing on the decision. That shot has millions and millions and millions of dollars loaded into it. So that person has to have enormous amounts of calmness, resilience, and responsibility that he has handled before to make that kind of shot. And less time to make the decision, which is, it's precise. It's so small, the time window, it's very difficult to actually think about something as you're doing it. It has to be programmed. It has to be pre-programmed into your system where he grabs the ball. As soon as he touches the ball, he turns around, takes the shot. It's automatic, okay? This is where your habits have to take over. Your reaction is automatic because you have trained yourself and your conscience. This is how precision decision making works, guys. I hope you have taken some good notes. I hope you start understanding that a time window is very important in terms of a situation. Actions and inactions matter. I hope you understand now how responsibility gets harder and harder and harder and layered on and on and on as we move forward in life. Think of a video game, and each level that you conquer or pass gets harder on the next level. That is so crucial as well. And then finally, the value circumplex, how knowledge is applied to challenges. When the challenge comes to your door and it asks your principles to come out, you're ready for it and you actually step into your discomfort zone and you take it on. And then from there, we talked about wisdom, how to apply the knowledge that you have through being passive or being aggressive, depending on the challenge itself and the situation and what it calls for. If you have understood that, good for you. I'll see you guys next time. There will be other series that we will put together, and I really appreciate your time, your effort, and the fact that you've taken yourself to this level. Good for you. More power to you, and keep moving forward. Keep pushing. Keep pushing.